Folks, hello. Welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. So, why do I have hourglasses up on the screen? Well, because it's the one prop I can think of that I would actually use in an RPG session. And which RPG is that? Well, particularly ShadowDark, right? ShadowDark has the 1 hour torch, that 1 hour timer, and it's a real world timer. So it's not an in game timer. This is your discussions, your bullshitting, uh, your potty breaks, whatever. 1 hour, real time. And at that end of that time, torch is out. It's a resource. And it's a resource that gets reflected in the real world. So I'm already considering like Shadow Dark to me will play better in person because I don't think that Roll20 has a an in-game timer feature, and I think that honestly, I think an hourglass, a 1 hour hourglass, is much more effective for this visually than I don't know, one of those wind up timers that you used to see like when your mother cooked when you were a kid and your stove didn't have a built-in timer and she had a well, it reminds me of that. I don't think that works as well as sands, like sands in an hourglass. This is your life. So, but what other props are appropriate? Like I'm already thinking, yeah, the hourglass works pretty well, but what about in a regular D&D session? OSR Swords and Wizardry, D&D 2E, whatever. When your group gets into one of those moments that you're about to enter a fight, and then all of a sudden it's like, let's talk tactics. Realistically, how much of that tactical talk can go on? Maybe a 2 minute timer at the table. Oh, you got to. I'll give you 2 minutes to figure out what you're doing. Boom, and then get a visual aid, which makes your players nervous, and that's the whole point, I think, to the timer in ShadowDark. Right, the timer in ShadowDark is to make your players think about time. It only works if they can see it, if it's a visual. I don't think the DM calling out, "Oh shit! Oh yeah, you got 27 minutes left on your torch," is the same as watching those sands drain to that hourglass. Now, I've played in RPG sessions where people have been like, and it's kind of cool. I understand. I do it. They'll pull out the prop sometimes at a convention. This is your magic item, and they hold up the magic. This is the wand of Necronominus, and you're like, oh, all right. Well, it's actually a laser pointer. I'm not that impressed. Or oh, actually no, this one, it's a whistle. Uh, but the reality is, if you're going to use props, in my opinion, and depending on the game, there are, if it's a puzzle, visual aids help, right? And we actually had this discussion last night on Tavern Chat. And I think the best visual aids that I ever saw in an RPG adventure module were like the Tomb of Horrors. When you got visual aids to help you picture what the DM has to explain. When you're detailing the archway going into a room, your players and you're verbally discussing it, you're verbally explaining it. Your players aren't going to pick up on clues, and you're not really to give a verbal description as opposed to a picture. What do they say about a picture? A picture paints what 1,000 words or more. So visual aids are very useful in certain situations. I just don't think that props are as useful unless they're very specific. Again, Shadow Dark, that timer, is a visual prop that is second to none. I swear it is an awesome concept. But, you know, hey, if you're playing a game that's based on, I don't know, a Western, the Old West, and using playing cards for resolution instead of dice, yeah, it's a shtick, it's a prop, but maybe it fits the game situation, it fits the game setting. I'm just trying to figure this out here because when you're role playing a game on a virtual tabletop, like many of us are now, you can use visual aids, right? You can show your players handouts, or this is what the castle looks like. This is what the cave entrance looks like. If you have it as reference, that is great. That is spot on. That works often better than describing it. So, how do you get your players invested, right? And when is a prop not really useful? I'd like to hear from you all in the comments section. Tell me what you expect from a prop or visual aid or something of that sort. What makes it useful to use? I mean, sometimes, I don't know if any of you all remember when those fantasy coins were big on Kickstarter. I backed a few. They'd be really great to hand out. Like when they find a unique coin, hey, yeah, you all find, three of these, and you put them on the table. Well, why are they so special that the DM has put them on the table? Maybe they're magical, right? Maybe they are ancient. Maybe there is something on them that will lead to further adventure. Well, you better be able to explain it. When they're looking at it, they're looking at the unicorn on it. Well, maybe the unicorn means something. You better have answers, though, if you're going to use props like that. I'm actually thinking about using that at a convention now. Shit. I got to think about that. But yeah, let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts. I want to hear your feedback. By the way, there's numbers on the bottom of the screen. They are for use, they are for free. If you or anybody you know is in need of substance abuse, mental health assistance, or have dangerous thoughts, hurting themselves or others, your life is in crisis, please avail yourself of these numbers. Okay. I've had great response from me putting these numbers up. I appreciate that. We're not sponsored, so we can do things like this, which some other channels probably can't. Folks, on that note, no live stream tomorrow night. It's the fifth Friday, so we'll have regular content. Saturday at 8 p.m. we will have our usual Gamers Health live stream. All right, folks. Be safe, be well, God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. I'll be back again tomorrow. God bless.